It's interesting. I had the flow of where I wanted today to go, and then I happened to take a peek at a couple of Facebook posts and some conversations this morning on social media. And I think this fits perfectly. So, what we did a couple of weeks ago, we started a higher level, came down a little bit, probably going to move back up, but I think it's really going to put the pieces together for you. I think it's really going to start to put the pieces together for you. Whether you're at the front desk, whether you're a practice manager, whether you're a practice owner, this content is for you. This isn't just front desk content. This isn't just owner's content. It's not just practice manager content. It's for all those people. And so, taking this information and giving it to these different groups of people is going to be really, really important, okay? Ultimately, when you look at patient success, it has to all flow from there. And what I found after 25 years in this business is we got to where we were because people without good business training got into their own practices, clinics, and started trying to run a business without good business sense. And they said they cared about patients, and they said it was always going to be about patients first, and then they turned into a physical therapy billing company. And I don't think people are trying to do bad things. I think they're trying to do too many things without understanding where the focus needs to be. The way to be successful in a physiotherapy business is to bet and put all your money and all your effort into patient success. And I actually have a 10-point checklist to what patient success is. So it's not just someone gets better. It's not just about their time with the clinician. It can't be. Just focus on the clinician and the patient is what got us here. It can't be about that anymore. It has to be your team. Here comes the theme. Has to be your team aligned behind one common goal, right? Completed plans of care. What is that? That's patient success. So people have lost sight of that. Say we take care of patients, right? And so what do? All we worry about is the clinician taking care of someone. So when they call in, the front desk believes their role is just to get people scheduled. The PTs believe it's their job to complete a plan of care. And the poor billing company believes it's their job to get yelled at, right? And I spoke a lot last week and the week before about getting the team aligned behind one thing, a complete plan of care. That is patient success. Now, let me tell you, we're not going to go into what we did last week. Let me tell you why it has to be patient success first. Because without patient success, you cannot have true business success. I said that last week. So if you created something because you wanted to create something better than is out there, and you turned it into another physical therapy billing company, or I should say service that gets really good at billing insurance, you're not about patient success. If you don't know how many people called your clinic this week, if you don't know how many people didn't schedule with you, if you don't know why they didn't schedule, if you know why the people that did schedule with you did schedule with you, then you are on the track to understanding your customer, client, patient better and setting them up for success. And in my world of secret callers, I am rare to find a clinic that can deliver on all that. And I just sat in a room full of people talking about how much they care about patients, and I thought, my Lord, good morning, Michael, if I could just secret call some of these clinics, of which I will. Thinking and believing you're doing one thing and actually hiring and training towards it is two completely different things. So when you bring someone in for a hire, they have to know they're coming on, again, I'm overlapping with last week, for patient success. And if I call your office and ask your front desk how they play a role in patients getting better and they can't tell me, you have failed on that. I heard the term a lot this last week of therapeutic alliance, and I asked everybody in the room to stop saying therapeutic alliance. Just say alliance, team alliance. That implies everybody on the team. When you say therapeutic alliance, you are stating that it's the therapist or provider that matters. So patient success is a completed plan of care. What's the opposite of that? A drop-off, right? I shared this last week. I'm going to say this again. Without patient success, you cannot have true business success. And then the tertiary result of that is personal success. If you create something and put the focus on your client, by the way, patient success, client success, customer success. Again, Every great business on the face of the earth puts their customer client first, except for healthcare. And we love to blame all these external things. And it's just not going to fly anymore, man. Patient success has to be what everybody is striving for so you can get the business success that you want. Now, I saw a post this morning somewhere about a PT posting stats in the PT room and had some pushback from their therapist. And I looked at the stats they're posting, and they're very, very business forward, business oriented stats. By the way, visits are very business oriented. Everybody's pushing more visits. That does not tell your team that it's patient success. Because a visit is not about patient success, a completed plan of care is. If your front desk is scheduling people, then you have not made them aware that they are part of this process to get people better. Again, patient success. So if the stat for your front desk, the measure of success is scheduled patients, I would say you're setting up a recipe for a team believing you only want business success. Driving billing, using that as a metric, a business metric of accountability? No, that's not going to work. Do you bill for what you do? Yes. Do you monitor that? Yes. Do you make that a metric of success? Because that's never going to feed into the greater good. You're going to fight that battle. And this is the thing I always ask business owners when I run into them frequently is, so you've been, you have visits as a business metric. Oh yeah. Cancels. Yeah. Build units. Yeah. And I said, how has that been serving you for the life of your business? You're still chasing those every month. So we've got to step the team back, and we've got to get them focused on patient success. And that completed plan of care is the only business metric you need. Now, mind you, it's the ultimate business metric. Your front desk team, your providers, your billing team need to know how their tasks and their KPIs, their key performance indicators, feed into that. And if you do that, the team will come together for completed plans of care. Now, I don't think I need to share with you, a completed plan of care means a lot of those metrics that you're focused on right now will change. So you got to get out of the weeds and look at what does it mean for patient success. No one has ever proven that more visits are better for a patient, yet you're telling your team to get more visits. Set the context around a completed plan of care. And by the way, if you do that, I'll guarantee you right now, whatever I can give you as a guarantee. If you focus on completed plan of care, cancels will go down without focusing on cancels. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I've seen it everywhere that we've implemented this. So patient success has to be the focus, not the in the weeds visits and cancels and no-shows. People cancel and no-show because there's no focus on a completed plan of care. There's no focus on the bigger picture. There's no me in there. Because why? Your front desk gets them scheduled. How's your front desk get them scheduled? Name, date of birth, address. If the front desk knows they have a role in a completed plan of care and what their KPIs around that, and you train them properly, and all of a sudden the first phone call starts with, sure, we can help you out with your low back pain, but let me get your story. During that story, I get your desired outcomes. Now it's about me. Low back pain is not about me. Scheduling physical therapy is not about me. You stating that you can help me get back to 18 holes of golf and picking up my grandchild pain-free is 130% about me. You, the front desk person, have now started that journey to a completed plan of care, which is the measure of patient success, which must happen before you can have business success. If you are running a successful business and do not know your drop-offs or completed plans of care, it's because you're not running a fucking business providing care to people. You are running a billing company. You know, and the beauty of a completed plan of care is we put the work back on the provider, let's say the physio, to do what they went to school to do. So average visits, to be honest, nope. Average visits per case, that might be a number you track for some other reason, just for staffing and things like that, but you're not going to hold everybody accountable to the same average number of visits. Because, by the way, nothing will grow your business faster than getting someone where they want to be in the allotted time that you agreed with them on, because they will tell more people. So this process involves more work, because the operation side has to be tied in with what the physical therapists are documenting for completed plans of care. And again, I don't give a shit about average visits per case, because if you're doing this and everybody's working towards this, everybody's schedule is full. Oh, magically, we don't have to count visits. Oh, magically, we don't have to look at vacancy rate. Oh, magically, because I budgeted in, I've spoke about this before, 5% for my cancel rate, we got no issues. We got no issues here. By the way, patient success leads to business success. Business success is not just money in the bank. Business success means a great culture. Means everybody's happy in the company. Means everybody knows what they're working towards. Means people are getting bonuses. Means people are getting raises. Which means people are getting better benefits because people know what they're working towards. These are not individual. Here's the problem I've run into. I shared this again recently. All the bonus programs and retention programs for employees I've run into are all individual goals that are very hard to connect with the ultimate goal of a completed plan of care. I've got my team all working for themselves, right? We've run into a lot of, I mean, you can name any pro sport team in any league you want. We all know those. I call them the Houston Rockets. I love how the Houston Rockets are winning games without Harden and Westbrook on the playing these days, right? Those guys are playing for themselves, right? The Rockets haven't done shit for years. They are a classic, right? And then you got Tyler's on here. You got the San Antonio Spurs, who have been like the poster childs of team play. Can't name half those guys on that team. And they're always there, right? So again, if I give you goals and I make the emphasis on the goal, if I give you the goals and the goals feed into the greater good of the business and I show you how you're part of the team, you will have greater business success. More money in the bank, happy employees, better culture, which will lead to personal success. You as the owner, practice managers, all these people, now you have more freedom to do whatever the hell you want. Whether it's more time with your kids, more money in the bank, a trip somewhere, that's personal success. I see too many people going into business right now and all they think about is the personal success. I'm like, the only path to personal success in what we do is patient success. Because that will lead to business success, which will then allow you, because you've already defined it, to do however you define personal success. Freedom to travel, freedom with your kids, freedom to use more money in the bank, freedom to help more people, give more money away to more people. The ultimate here, again, I say this a lot because we talk about the ultimate business metric and all this other stuff, but the goal here is to serve all the people in your community who can benefit from what you're doing. Think about that for a second. So that does not mean scheduling everybody who shows up. That's what I like about this, Tyler. This isn't going to be the same across every single practice across America. Yet, you better not base it on visits. So it's not like, okay, company-wide, a completed plan of care is 12 visits, right? And by the way, I would argue completed plan of care, if someone comes in, you see them for 3 or 4 visits, you refer them back to the doctor because they shouldn't have been there. There's complications. Or you refer them to someone else in the company, or you refer them out of the company. I call that a completed plan of care. Because as the professionals, as I understand, because I am a PT, as sometimes I forget and other people forget, our job, a plan of care is not static, it's dynamic, right? It's dynamic. So this is why I said earlier, it's more work. Your operations people have to be monitoring these charts. I got a 10-point checklist for what it means to create a happy patient. And one of them is a completed plan of care. And it covers all spectrums of their experience with you, including, did they refer someone to you? Have they used your name back to the doctor, back to a friend, back to a family member, stuff like that. So if you think about my patient life cycle, a happy patient, it's about checking off boxes during their entire life cycle. 99% of healthcare thinks a happy patient is created during fucking 2 boxes in my life cycle, which is what? The course of care. And you guys have all seen my patient life cycle. There are far more touch points outside of patient care than there are inside patient care. It drives me crazy, right? Simple enough. It's like, ooh. If you look at that, you're like, holy shit, I got a lot of leverage here. So if we're all thinking patient success, and by the way, you know, the provider, we put too much on the provider. You guys have heard this theme. Oh, it's only 2 steps. Well, no, but look at all the steps that feed into that, right? I say phase 2 of the patient life cycle is to create success for the patient and the provider. So all that work that goes into before they arrive is all to set the provider and the patient up for success. By doing that, you understand the role of the team in doing what? Patient success. Because when someone completes a plan of care, I will say this again, they will cancel less, they will never no-show. They'll pay at the time of their appointment. They'll pay their final bill. I'm going through a bunch of the checklists, by the way. They'll let other people know about you. Multiply that over and over and over. You've got a successful business. And yes, there is a lot of overlap. I want you guys to understand the terminology, and I want you to start thinking. So if we take last week, which I came out and then went into the weeds. So what does patient success mean around this, right? Because the bigger picture, when you're thinking about running your business, starting your business, having a successful business, has to be this. Well, I need customer, client, patient success, which will lead me to business success, which will lead me to personal success. Last week was more of getting in the weeds on what's patient success. It's a completed plan of care and having your whole team aligned behind that. Plain and simple. Like I said, the people who are posting these stats in the PT room, yeah, they're posting stats that are making them think that you're driven by the money. It is what it is. And I know most people aren't. I'll actually give everybody that credit. But they don't know what else to measure, and they don't know how else to get there. That's the part I have issue with. And what I've learned after all these years, again, of making mistakes and doing it over and over and over again and making the same mistakes, is holy fuck. Every time my patient's successful, the business is more successful. Go fucking figure. And I'm talking to myself here, challenging myself. So the earlier you are in your journey here, I say this every time, is you have more potential and you have more speed to get this done, to set the business up like this. And patient success requires one thing. Step number 1 is to understand who you will serve. Step number 2 is understand what you will serve them with. And step number 3 is to map out their life cycle within your business. You guys ever heard that anywhere before? So there you go. We went into the weeds. Patient success is understanding who you will serve, what you will serve them with, and what their life cycle looks like. Remember, I said my goal for all the practices I work with is to serve all the people in their community. That's not everybody, who are the best fit for their practice, what they serve. So I just said those 3 things. Once you understand who you can serve and what you're going to serve them with, understand their experience and their life cycle. All right, kids, I ran over a little bit. Appreciate the questions. I appreciate the input, Tyler. If you guys didn't see what Tyler wrote in the comments, go back, because he basically spelled out what completed plan of care means. Always happy to have this conversation. I'll be back next week and we'll build on it. I'll get in the weeds more about the phases. You know, we can talk more about the front desk. We can talk more about what the providers need to do. I haven't spoken to that in a long time because everybody wants to talk about front desk, but everybody keeps going back to their providers and yelling more visits. And I'm going to give you a little hint that that's not what they need to do. Because by the way, when you're yelling more visits at your provider, you're telling them completed plans of care aren't it. Cheers.